Now we are covering assertiveness, and we're going to be covering assertiveness all semester long, and you are going to hear that we'll call it a buzzword. You're going to hear assertive a lot this semester. Right now you probably don't know what it means. It's okay. The goal of today is to walk out at 105, and at 105 or earlier, you should be able to tell someone what assertive means. And maybe even talk about, this is what assertive looks like, this is what being assertive sounds like in different situations. Okay, so that's the goal of today. Now this little meme here, this is going to make sense at the end of this hour, okay? And if you can't read it, it says, I'm going to start being more assertive if that's okay with you. Okay? And I promise, in about 50 minutes, that's going to be fun. All right? So this is the definition. You should be on workbook page 1 right now. Okay, so go to the top of your workbook page, and you have some things that you need to go ahead and start typing or writing. All right? Now the definition of assertiveness is this, Drew. Even when it's difficult, expressing your wants, needs, and thoughts while respecting others. Even when it's difficult, so even when you don't want to. Expressing your wants, your needs, and your thoughts while respecting others. If you think about that, that is key to being successful here at school and so many other places. So that's the definition. So 105, if I ask you out in the hallway or at the door, if I say, hey, what does assertiveness mean? Go. I would like you to be able to tell me, hey, being able to express my wants, needs, and thoughts, but at the same time, respecting others. Okay, so that's the definition. Yes, Logan?
This is gonna be hard for me because I do not like to express my feelings.
It's,
Bad.
you know
Shut
what?
up and lose it.
You need to raise your hand. Okay, Logan? It's gonna be hard for me too. Okay, it's gonna be hard for everyone. Okay, so I want you to take 2 minutes right now after you write down that definition. And at your table, Tiffany will have to move here in a second, even at your table, I want you to dissect this definition and continue working in your workbook and dissect it in the following manner, okay? Number 1, what does even when it's difficult mean? So that might mean like even when you don't want to. Okay, think of a time here in school. Maybe it's in class, maybe it's in the hallway, maybe it's in PE, maybe it's at lunch. Even when it's difficult, what does that mean? And provide some examples. Number 2, what does expressing your wants, needs, and thoughts mean? And is this verbal or nonverbal? And then number 3, what does while respecting others mean? And maybe what does that look like? What does it sound like? And then what does respectful versus non-respectful look like or sound like? Okay? So I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to have a quick discussion and go ahead and write or type on those questions on your workbook, and then we're going to regroup in 2 minutes and go on, okay? So do that quietly and efficiently. Go. Now, expressing my wants, needs, and thoughts. If I say, hey, Drew, I need you to refocus right now, is that verbal?
Yes.
Okay, so this can be nonverbal or verbal. So mine, I'm number 2. It can be both. All right? Expressing your wants, needs, and thoughts. It can be verbal, it can be nonverbal. And that can be in class, it can be in your sports, it can be at home, it can be anywhere. Okay, so Logan, you should have both. Third question there. What does while respecting others mean? I think you guys know what it means. Let's talk about what does it look like, what does it sound like? Okay? What does respecting others look like? Anybody have a thought there? Anthony, what does respecting others look like?
Apologizing.
What?
Apologizing.
Apologizing. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Treat others the way you want to be treated. Good.
If someone pushes you into a log, don't push them back.
Okay, that's good. How about when I'm having a conversation with you, or you're having a conversation with someone else, if I want to be respectful, what do I look like? If I'm talking to Abram, is this respectful? Or is this respectful?
Other things
This is respectful. Good body posture, eye contact, right? Maybe your facial expressions. That's what respectful may look like. When we talk about what does respectful sound like, we can talk about the tone of your voice, or the volume of your voice, or the vocabulary you're using. Okay? So that's the difference. Here we go, Andrew. Okay, work with page 2. On to page 2. So what you have in front of you, this is a competency wheel, and this is something that the teachers, we've looked at a lot, and we've had a lot of discussions over. Okay? So if you look at the blue section, all these skills, these are all skills. These are interpersonal skills. These are all crucial with how you interact with others. That's what interpersonal means. And one of those you'll see is assertiveness. So that means being assertive is really, really crucial in how you interact with others. And that's a key part of being successful in school. It's a key part of being successful at your job. It's a key part of being successful in your other activities. Okay? So that's where assertiveness is. When you get into high school, they're going to focus on intrapersonal, okay, which is more within yourself. And then the other part of this you're going to focus on in high school is the cognitive area, which deals with critical thinking and so forth. All right? Now look on the right-hand side of my screen up here. This is really, really important. I told you guys this is going to be the most important class today. If you are able to be assertive in every aspect of your life, these are some of the benefits that you're going to get. You're going to interact with others really, really well. You're going to have better relationships with others. Talking about with your friends, with your parents, with people you've never met. The quality of your relationships are going to go up. You're going to enjoy school more. It's just naturally going to happen. Okay? You're going to be more engaged here at school in your learning. You're going to be more mentally fit. Assertive people are mentally strong, more mentally strong than people who are more passive or aggressive. Okay, and they're less prone to mental illnesses too. So you're going to be more mentally fit. You're going to have better grades and achievement, and then later on down the road, you're going to make more money at your job. You're going to have higher salaries. There you go, Avery. You're going to have higher salaries, and you're going to have better job opportunities just from the skill of being assertive. Okay, who can tell me what assertive means again? Go back to the definition. What does it mean, Hannah?
Even when it's difficult, express your wants, needs, and thoughts while respecting others.
So even when it's difficult, if you can express your wants, needs, and thoughts, even when it's tough to, even when you don't want to, Logan said, even when it's tough, even when it's difficult, if you can do that and respect others, you're going to get all those benefits, okay? Let's keep going. Okay, page 3, spaghetti and meatballs. Okay, here we go. Let's break this down. First part, Hannah just said, even when it's difficult, express my wants, needs, and thoughts. That's very, very important. Second part of it, Hannah said it. Even when it's difficult, respect what others want, need, and think. Just like spaghetti and meatballs. Okay? They're much better together. And you cannot be assertive with just one of those things, with just one of those parts. You cannot respect others but not express your wants, needs, and thoughts and be assertive. Okay? How many of you often sit through class and don't say much, even if you could? Sometimes we do that. That's being passive. Okay? And then sometimes you or you might know people butt in and they speak out of turn and they shout, maybe when they should wait their turn. That's being a little bit more on the aggressive side. We need to find common ground. Okay, and that common ground is going to be assertive. Okay, so just like spaghetti and meatballs, you put those two parts of the equation together, you're going to be assertive. But you can't just do one of them. And that's going to be tough. Like Logan said earlier, he said, this is going to be tough for me. It's okay. Okay, it's going to be tough for everybody, but you got to do both parts, all right? So, brain break. If you can't read that, guy on the left, he's saying, boss, may I attend the assertiveness training seminar? And his boss says, no. And he says, okay. Is he being assertive?
No. Yes. Yeah. Arguing. No. He's not arguing.
He's not arguing. He's being very passive, isn't he?
But he's looking down.
He's looking down and saying, okay. Did he get angry and yell at his boss for not letting him go?
No.
No, that's being aggressive. If he was being assertive, what could he do?
He said, okay, I'll do extra work.
Mia, go.
Okay. well, I think I should get to go to this because blah, blah, blah. But, like, he can't, like, be all mean, like, you should let me go to this because I'm better than you. Like, he can't be all mean like that. He just needs to, like, be nice, but also, like, make a point.
He needs to explain why he wants to go, right? So he's going to explain his, are you saying he needs to explain his wants and needs?
Mm-hmm.
But he needs to do it in a respectful manner?
Mm-hmm.
Is that being assertive? So he says, if he says, hey boss, there's an assertiveness seminar coming up and it's really something I've been working on and I'd like to get better at. I really think I'd be a better employee if I could go to this. Is there any way I could get that day off to go to this? Do you think he might get a different answer?
Maybe.
He might. He might. Okay? All right. Workbook page 4. Make sure you're there. Go. Workbook page 4. Okay. This is going to require us to be in groups of 3. Okay? So you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are good. You guys can, Tiffany, back up to that group, okay?
So it's going to be more
And then Hannah, fill in over there.
There's going to be more than wait for you to speak.
Yep, Tiffany's going to go there, and Hannah's going to go in if we need a sub, okay? So, we're going to do a little role play. Logan, I need you to put that away. Okay? We're going to come up with a situation, and I want you to be able to role play what passive looks like or sounds like, what aggressive looks like or sounds like, but appropriate, and what assertive might look like. Okay? So the situation is, you go down to the gym after lunch, and you have 10 minutes to play basketball or volleyball. 10 minutes. And that's the most precious 10 minutes of your day. Now when you get down to the gym, all the basketballs and all the volleyballs are taken. But you notice, one area of the gym, there's this group of people who have more than one of what they need. They have 3 or 4 basketballs, so they have 3 or 4 volleyballs. In other words, they don't need that many. So that's the situation. Okay? I want you to pick somebody at your table who can show us what passive behavior would look like and sound like. Somebody who can show us what aggressive behavior should look like and sound like. And someone who could show us what assertive behavior could look like and sound like. Talk it out with your groups. And we'll regroup in a minute. We're going to go through one group. I'll send an email, I promise. So you 3 stand up. Real quick. It can be 10 seconds or less. Everybody else, quiet, pay attention. Passive person, you go down to the gym, you want a basketball or a volleyball. Show me your passive behavior.
Yeah, I'll just go do something else.
Awesome, good job. Who's aggressive?
Me.
Show me your aggressive behavior.
Give me a ball!
Now! Right?
Yeah.
Ladies, show me your assertive behavior.
Can I have a ball?
Yeah, ask. Hey, you guys already have 4 basketballs. I'd really like to play in this 10 minutes. Could I have one? Okay, you guys clean up your space, push chairs, and you can go.
My name is Jenna DeLay. I'm the principal at Abilene Middle School. And this year, we're really focusing on trying to teach our students some core competencies that will help them after high school and in their careers in the future. So the first competency we've been focusing on this semester is assertiveness. And these students are all in 7th grade, and they just started learning about assertiveness literally just a couple minutes ago. So if they're a little nervous, it's okay. But I'm going to ask them some questions about what they've learned and how they think it might help them in middle school. So tell us your name first of all.
My name is Adam Weishauer, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is JC Moore, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Allie Brown, and I'm in 7th grade.
Awesome. See, it's doing fine so far, right? So Allie, why don't we start with you? What did you learn about assertiveness today? You can hold that.
Well, assertiveness, it's not like, aggressiveness and assertiveness are like just about really similar, but you need to be assertive and not aggressive. Because assertiveness is standing up for yourself, but aggressiveness would be standing up for yourself in a rude way.
Awesome. JC, do you remember 2 components to assertiveness? What are the 2 main rules? Do you remember those?
Not really.
Does anybody remember those? If I give you a hint. Number 1 is, even when it's hard, what do you have to do? Remember?
Even when it's hard, you need to be kind to people, even when it's difficult.
Okay, that's definitely part of it. Also, it's even when it's hard, you need to express your wants, thoughts, and needs. Do you remember the second part? Even when it's hard, who else's wants, thoughts, and needs do you have to respect?
The other person's.
Absolutely. So, Adam, where do you think this lesson about assertiveness can help you in middle school?
Just like connecting socially with people and in groups of people and like one-on-one conversations.
Okay, and JC, what do you think? How do you think it'll help you in middle school?
Say sometimes people are rude, but they don't mean to. You don't need to get on them about it. You need to calm the situation down.
Okay, and Allie, what about you?
To not be the person that gets pushed around in a group, to be more assertive and actually have a little bit of power.
Great. Is that what it kind of makes you feel like you can kind of take power in the situation? One of the skills that these students have either learned today or will continue to learn is about assertive statements. And an assertive statement is 3 parts. First part is where you show empathy for the other person, because that's rule number 2, right? Respecting what others want, think, and feel. And then the second part is where you explain your rationale. And the third part is where you make a direct statement. Did you guys have a chance to practice those yet today? Probably next time. So those assertive statements really will help. So for example, let's pretend that all 3 of these guys came late to class and I'm their teacher. Instead of saying, "Why are you terrible people late to class? I can't believe that you would be so rude," which, how are you going to react when I say that?
Harsh.
Yes, yes. So instead, an assertive statement in that situation, 1, show empathy. So I might say, "I understand that the hallways are crowded, and sometimes that makes it really difficult to get to class on time." Part 2 would be to state a rationale. But when you miss class, even at the very beginning, you end up missing out on a lot of really important instruction. And then the third part, a direct statement. "So what I really need from you guys is to make an effort to get here on time." Now, how do you react to that situation?
Can you repeat the question?
Instead of reacting, harsh, how do you react when I give you that statement instead?
Okay, I will try my best to be on time next.
And do you feel like I'm attacking you?
No.
Okay. Ellie, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
I feel like you give us more respect and that you're being assertive and not aggressive. So
Great, thank you. And the opposite of aggressive is passivity. And that's the other thing we really want our students to work on, is not being passive either and just saying, okay, I won't be late. Okay, I won't be late. So you could even respond with an assertive statement as well. Like, "I know it's important that I'm to class on time because I don't want to miss out, but what's something that might have kept you from being to class on time?"
if you have to walk all the way from band.
Okay, so that's your rationale. It is very difficult to get to third hour literature from the band room, walking all the way across the school, through the 8th grade hallway, et cetera, et cetera. So then your statement is, "I need to work with you, teacher, to make sure that I can get there on time." So it becomes this communication. Our goal is we want conversations, not confrontations. So overall, do you feel like assertiveness is going to be something that will help us as a school? What do you think, JC?
I feel like it is, because there's a lot of conflict that can happen because rude tones are used at times.
And so assertiveness in students and all of the adults here will help us communicate more effectively, right? Great. Well, thank you to Adam, JC, and Allie for being willing to step out of your comfort zone literally minutes after you learned about assertiveness. We appreciate your time.